Solo leveling isn't good, and I can prove it. Let's get something straight right now. Solo leveling is not a good anime. It's not a masterpiece, not revolutionary, not a genre-defining epic, and definitely not the best modern anime like fans keep claiming. Solo leveling is the equivalent of empty calories, flashy, loud, visually stimulating, and completely hollow once you actually look past the surface. The only reason people obsess over it is because they've spent years hyping it up in manhwa communities, building this myth that solo leveling is somehow on the same level as Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, or Jujutsu Kaisen. Spoiler. It's not even close. And today, we're going to break down every reason solo leveling is overrated, predictable, badly written, and honestly one of the weakest anime adaptations to get this much global attention. If you love solo leveling, buckle up, because everything I'm about to say is going to hurt. Solo leveling only looks good, and that's the problem. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the animation. Yes, A1 Pictures gave solo leveling some pretty scenes. Yes, the effects are flashy. Yes, the colours and particle effects look clean. But here's the truth. Solo leveling fans refuse to admit the anime looks good because it has to look good. If the flashy visuals disappeared for even a second, people would realise how painfully weak the story, pacing, and characters actually are. The fights have zero emotional weight. The stakes don't feel real. It's just cool guy beats monsters on repeat. Solo leveling is the definition of style over substance and a polished paint job slapped onto a hollow frame. Great animation does not make a great anime. And the moment people rewatch this show without the hype goggles, they're going to notice how shallow everything actually is. Sung Jinwoo is an empty power fantasy, not a character. Let's be brutally honest, Sung Jinwoo is not a well-written protagonist. He's not deep, he's not compelling, he's not complex. He's literally a blank slate who exists solely for wish fulfillment power creep. He doesn't grow, he doesn't struggle, he doesn't evolve, he just levels up over and over until he becomes untouchable. There are gacha game characters with more personality than Jinwoo. Fans call him iconic. But iconic characters have flaws, goals, vulnerabilities, conflicts. Jinwoo has none of that. He's a power system in human form, not a protagonist. And the worst part? The fanbase genuinely believes he's one of the coolest characters in modern anime, even though he's written like the most basic RPG main character imaginable. You could replace him with a silent Skyrim protagonist, and nothing would change. The story is literally a video game tutorial on loop. If you think solo leveling has a good story, I hate to be the one to break the news. It doesn't. It's repetitive, predictable, and structured like a mobile game. Every episode follows the same formula. New dungeon appears, Jinwoo enters it. Jinwoo destroys everything effortlessly. Jinwoo levels up, the cycle repeats. There's no stakes, no tension, no meaningful world building. The writing relies on the same copy and paste beats every time, and fans act like this is peak storytelling. It's not. This is shonen for people who don't want to think, a constant stream of cool visual moments built on the flimsiest narrative foundation imaginable. Even isekai anime from 10 years ago had more originality than this. The world building is lazy and contrived. Nothing about solo leveling's world makes sense. Gates appear, sir, because the plot needs them to. Hunters exist, so the author can pump out endless monster fights. Power levels fluctuate randomly. Rules only matter until the plot needs to break them. And don't even get me started on the Shadow Monarch lore. It feels like it was pulled out of a random fan wiki generator. The world is not immersive, not consistent, and definitely not compelling. You can't build a great fantasy series on a world that collapses the moment you ask one logical question. The entire universe of solo leveling exists for one reason only: to make Jinwoo look cool. And that's not good writing, that's lazy writing. The fanbase is half the problem. If solo leveling is overrated, it's because the fanbase made it overrated. You can't go anywhere online without seeing fans calling it peak or the greatest modern anime or 10 out of 10, no debate. The delusion is unreal. These fans spent years worshipping the manhwa, and now they're gaslighting the entire anime community into thinking solo leveling is groundbreaking just because it finally got an adaptation. And if you criticize it even slightly, they swarm like hornets. They accuse you of not understanding it, even though there's nothing to understand. Solo Leveling is not deep, it's not complex, it's barely above fan fiction with a production budget. But the way fans defend it, you'd think it was the second coming of Attack on Titan. The emotional moments are forced and manipulative. Let's talk emotional writing. Solo Leveling tries so hard to force emotional moments, yet none of them feel genuine. Characters exist for one reason: to die, get injured, or get overshadowed by Jinwoo. Relationships don't develop, side characters have no arcs. The deaths are predictable and cheap. The anime tries to trick you into thinking the story has depth, but it's just surface-level melodrama, designed to make casual viewers say, "Wow, that was sad," before immediately forgetting the character existed. Compare it to stories that handle emotion well. Vinland Saga, Full Metal Alchemist, even early Naruto. And Solo Leveling doesn't even belong in the same conversation. Solo Leveling is a fantasy power trip, not a good anime. This is the core truth people don't want to hear. Solo Leveling is popular because it satisfies the most basic fantasy of all: being unstoppable. That's it. That's the whole appeal. It's a dopamine machine built around one formula: make the protagonist as powerful as possible, as fast as possible, with as little resistance as possible. If you turn off your brain, it's entertaining. But the moment you actually analyze the writing, pacing, character development, or world building, the show falls apart instantly. Fans aren't defending a masterpiece, they're defending a really shiny power fantasy. And there's nothing wrong with power fantasies, but let's stop pretending this is peak storytelling. Even the fight scenes have no weight. People keep saying Solo Leveling has the best fights in anime. Stop. No, it doesn't. It has the flashiest fights. There's a difference. A great fight scene is emotional, unpredictable, character-driven. Think Tanjiro versus Rui, Levi versus the Beast Titan, Gojo versus Toji. Those fights mean something. Solo Leveling fights are just Jinwoo walks in, Jinwoo gets surrounded, epic music plays, Jinwoo one-shots, everything. That's not choreography, that's not tension, that's not storytelling. It's just visual noise that is loud, shiny, and meaningless. The anime relies on hype, not quality. Let's be real, if Solo Leveling didn't have years of manhwa hype behind it, nobody would care. This isn't a case where a masterpiece of writing finally got discovered. It's a case where a mid-story with good art rode a wave of online fandom obsession. And now the anime community is treating it like it's some legendary work. When the hype fades, people are going to re-watch Solo Leveling and realize how little substance it actually has. This anime is a product of marketing momentum, not storytelling excellence. Solo Leveling is overrated, and the fans prove it every day. In the end, Solo Leveling is the perfect example of a series that looks incredible, but collapses the moment you actually think about it. Weak protagonist, repetitive story structure, lazy world building, empty emotional beats, and a fan base that overhyped the series so aggressively that people feel pressured to call it a masterpiece. But calling Solo Leveling peak doesn't make it peak. Calling it perfect doesn't make it perfect. And pretending it's the greatest anime of the year doesn't change the reality that, once you strip away the visuals, Solo Leveling is painfully average at best and downright bad at worst.